Hey LinkedIn, just thought I'd throw this out there. We were talking about this and I just brought it up to a colleague of mine, and we were talking about the sales sequence. And for years we've kind of gone through, I've been obsessive about making sure that you have your sales sequence down and making sure that your team follows it, so you get rid of the peaks and valleys and you're not having like these ups and downs, or people say, oh, I do it this way or whatever. But the reality is, if you really dissect it and you really look at it, there is an exact sequence of events that you need to go through. And I'm sure that's true for every single company, a sales process, right? For us, for years, it's always been like discovery, proposal review, selling and handling, asking, closing and logistics, thank you, and finance, and those are the kind of stages that things go through. And for us anyway, one thing I realized recently, and it's kind of a funny thing to realize, and we do it anyway, but I realized just to define it further for new reps to really break it down. But let's just take discovery, for example. If you were to fully cascade that down or drill that down, what is every single actionable step in sequence in discovery that needs to happen? Because then if you codify it at that level, you can turn it over to anybody. And even if somebody's an A-player sales rep, you want to be able to go, here's the sales process, and here's the sequence within each. So when you're in discovery, what happens? And you break that down of like this email or that connection, this email, the Zoom call, blah, 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 boom, 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 right? And then you go, good, that graduates you over. If you follow that flow from left to right and then down, once you get to the bottom of that, that would then flow over to the next step, which would be proposal, and then it breaks down the flow from there, which would be proposal review and flow from there. So I'm just throwing it out there, and maybe you're already doing this, but the more you sort of codify and define that sort of make it like a manufacturing plant a little bit, the more you have that process baked in. When you're certainly doing sales, and for your sales reps, you want a little bit less think and more execution, more action. So if you can get rid of some of the think work, certainly during the day, you have a repeatable process that you can follow. You can leave the creative think work for when they're on the phone or when they're selling or doing what they should be doing, and having appointments and having Zoom calls or whatever. And you don't want to run into any, oh, what should I do next? Or, I follow it up 3 times and then that's it, and then it's dead or they don't do anything, because it's really not mapped. But when you really map it, then you've got all those steps mapped. You have those 18, 19, 20 steps fully mapped, and the team can really just execute those things and do that really, really well. Now, we already do this, and the best should know this, or they're already natively doing it. But when you think about your team and getting rid of the Pareto law of 80-20, how do you get everybody doing it the correct way? And how do you build a repeatable model so it's like Lego instructions, right? So you have it where you can build the exact same thing every single time. And so something I just thought I'd throw out there for food for thought, if you will. But we were talking about this recently. So anyway, I hope it helps. Any comments, love to see it below. Love to see how you do it. And if you like, hit like. Okay, thanks.